Good morning, everybody. How's it going? All right, let's start. So, on this day, 587 BC, the Babylonian siege of Jerusalem ends in the destruction of Solomon's temple. This is sometimes called in the Bible as the Babylonian captivity. The Babylonians took a lot of um, uh, Jewish slaves and people back to Babylon. This is all recorded in the Bible, and it was historical fact. Um, on this day, 1985, and I remember it pretty well. Live Aid concert is held simultaneously around the world. In London, Philadelphia, there were um, places in Moscow and Sydney. It was all to benefit the famine in Ethiopia. So some pretty awesome acts. Pretty much every famous group at the time played. Quote of the day, and this is pertinent to my family right now. My fashion philosophy is, if you're not covered in dog hair, your life is empty. Elaine Boozler. A dog, Maximus, is he's got a double coat. I don't know if you know that much about dogs, but dogs with double coats, at least twice a year, they do what's called they blow their coat, which means they literally shed everything almost. And there is hair everywhere in this house. We could easily make another dog with just the hair that we've brushed off Maximus. Um, it's horrendous. Just is. All right, and our what? This is also pertinent for the family too. In 1475, a Turkish law stated that it was legal for a woman to divorce her husband if he does not provide her with the daily quota of coffee. My wife too needs her daily quota of coffee. Matter of fact, this is a little late filming this because I had to go drop some stuff off to my wife, and it necessitated me dropping off some more coffee to her. So, all right. So, Luke, I never knew that song was called "The Entertainer." That's cool. I've heard that song many times. I always just assumed it associated with like carnivals and circuses and things like that. But that's cool. Um, and to answer your question, block scheduling. What block scheduling does is basically it is you take the course, and instead of doing it over an entire year, you do it over half the year, and so your periods are longer. Um, the way we did this when I was up in Yulee is that you took 4 classes a semester. Okay, and the classes were 90 minutes long. Okay, so you take 4 classes the first semester, 4 classes the second semester, so that gives you 8 total classes. Actually, a little bit more than you do in Brevard, because in Brevard, or at least in Space Coast, you take 7 classes a year. So what this does is, since you're only in 4 classes a semester, there's less changing. So there's less moving around. There's less of that potential interaction with the people. So block scheduling has its benefits. It wasn't my favorite way to teach, but from a health point of view, it does make a little bit more sense. In listening to the the school board, they're still not sure what they're going to do. And I don't know if you noticed or if you paid attention to the news, but Florida now holds the record of the United States for the highest number of cases in one day. We were over 15,000 yesterday. a lot of cases that beat the record of New York City or New York State by like 3,000. So there's a lot of cases. So with cases spiking like that, it's just really up in the air what they're going to do. I know, you know, young people, kids are less susceptible to this disease, but they can still catch it. There are documented cases of kids dying from it. Um, but more importantly, I think, is that all you kids go home to parents and grandparents. So there's that worry. Um, and there's still like there's no plan if one kid in class gets the disease. One kid in class gets COVID. What do you do with the rest of the kids in class? Because according to kind of the CDC guidelines, you're supposed to kind of quarantine that class for like 14 days. Or testing. What are they going to do about testing? Is the school district going to pay for testing? It's all up in the air. A lot of questions to ask, to answer, and there's really, as far as timing goes, the timing of our spike is really bad because what's today? Today is the 13th, so I think in like 3.5 weeks we're supposed to be back to school. So a lot of questions to answer in just a little bit of time. So I don't know. Trump and DeSantis and the Betsy DeVos, the head of the Department of Education, all say kids need to go back to school, and I agree in part that kids do need to be at school, but I don't necessarily agree with them being in the school building. Either way, it's going to be a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of stuff up in the air right now, which is really annoying, frustrating. Anxiety levels are high. Frustration levels are high. So we'll see. In a perfect world, we'd all be back to school. We'd have a treatment, a vaccine, and we'd be able to social distance. But I don't know. So that's it. I know it's not a lot of answers for you guys because there really aren't a lot of answers right now. I'm gonna go clean up the kitchen a little bit, do my workout. That's about it. You guys stay safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.